With less than 2 months left before the Georgia primary, the battle for governor is really heating up, and it could spell trouble for former President Donald Trump. Still upset over Governor Brian Kemp's refusal to overturn the 2020 election results, the former president has picked former Senator David Perdue to challenge the sitting governor. And while a Trump endorsement was supposed to be enough to make Perdue the favorite, it's really unclear whether it's going to be enough to really push him across the finish line. So let's go ahead and bring in NBC News senior political analyst Jonathan Allen. John, my friend, let's get right to it. I guess the big question here is Trump's endorsement of Perdue really enough, especially with Democrat Stacey Abrams looming really large in the general election?
Well, Morgan, let me just start by saying I had this unexpected pleasure on Thursday where I sat next to a guy in Georgia and talked to him for about 2 hours and then found out he was your father. What a wonderful man. It was so great to meet him. But I will answer your question.
He is awesome. And he sent me a selfie, actually, of this encounter, which I was very happy about. I said, oh, my God, you met John Allen.
But Trump has gotten involved in this Republican side of the race with Perdue because Kemp refused to try to overturn the 2020 election. Perdue has gone all in on Trump, gone all in on election fraud. They appeared in Commerce, Georgia on Saturday at a Trump rally together. Perdue, again, embracing the election lies. But what we've seen so far is that Brian Kemp still has a lead over David Perdue. The Trump endorsement has not been everything that it was trumped up to be. And we've got about 2 months.
I saw what you did there. I just want to pause and let the viewers know I caught what you did there.
There's about 2 months left, though, so a lot of different things can happen in primaries. They're very hard to poll, very hard to predict. But at least this has not been a runaway for David Perdue challenging the sitting governor, Brian Kemp.
I do want to be clear, though, about the stakes here, John. I mean, especially for people who aren't in Georgia, but understand the dynamics of what happened last time in the governor's race. I mean, if Brian Kemp does win the May primary, what does that mean for former President Trump's potential run in the future? I mean, what does it mean for his credibility, for his reputation, especially among his base?
This will absolutely be a humiliating defeat for Trump, who has made revenge against Brian Kemp priority number one during the midterms for his own election, obviously in a state that he fraudulently says he was defrauded in. And so it'll be humiliating and embarrassing. That said, he has also endorsed a bunch of other candidates against sitting office holders. People remember Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. He's got a Trump-backed primary opponent in the Attorney General's race, the same thing. And so for Trump, there's a lot on the line in terms of his reputation, in terms of his ability to cow Republicans. And at the same time, if any of his challengers win and get into office, he's in a stronger position systemically.
I do want to ask, when you talk about what's happening systemically, just briefly here, I mean, Kemp, according to this recent Real Clear Politics poll, is up 9 points. I mean, and when you look at that sort of poll average. So how is Perdue really looking to differentiate himself from the incumbent? I mean, how will he do that to sort of set himself apart, especially among that base there?
It's a great question, Morgan, because the real big push right now for Perdue is to find something other than the 2020 election in addition to that fight over the 2020 election. Most Republicans feel one way or the other that the party should move on or that it should continue to litigate 2020, and it's hard to move voters on that. So what he's doing is focusing on some hyper-local issues. He's come out in favor of Buckhead, a part of Atlanta, essentially seceding from Atlanta, which the governor and his allies have stopped from happening, and the business community in Buckhead opposes. And then there's an electric vehicle plant that's going in northeast Georgia that Brian Kemp has been a big part of that Perdue is opposing.
And I do want to be clear for our viewers who are not familiar with Atlanta. Buckhead is one of the wealthiest zip codes there in Georgia, specifically in Atlanta. So that is significant, asking them to become a separate district there. NBC's John Allen, I need you and Dad Rad to stay out of trouble there in Atlanta. Appreciate you. Good to see you, man.
Or get into it. Take care.
See you later.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.